Hey there. I know what you wake up and think every morning. What is going on with indie manga? Well, today we're going to be reviewing one known as Mr. Sasaki's Soul. This is coming from Black Swan Story, and it's one of their latest manga releases that's going to be coming out in the summer. So they sent this story over to me, and yes, this is a paid review, but it's always going to be an honest review. So if you think you might want to check this out, I'm going to give you a rundown of what you can expect from this. So what is it about? Well, it's basically about this supernatural being who floats around on a balloon, and he finds people who need help, and he uses like his supernatural magic to help them in some way. In a lot of ways, I might compare this concept to Great Teacher Onizuka. If any of you remember that anime back in the day, it's a little bit of an older one. And it wasn't necessarily my favorite, but it's kind of that same concept, you know, person of the week who needs help. I think this used to be a much more common idea used for manga, but I rarely see it anymore. I think it's a pretty solid formula, so I don't know why more people aren't doing it. Maybe it's just that manga in itself has moved away from more episodic type of stories and are looking towards something more long form. But let's actually get into the nitty-gritty of what I read here. This is just a preview, of course, so I read this with the understanding that it's gonna be like sharpened up and edited later. Right now, this version is in its more rough state, as you can probably tell with like a lot of narration boxes and word balloons not having ends to them like question marks or periods and stuff like that. But even with this like brief preview that I got in its earliest of state, the art is quite good, and I think that it does have the potential to rival a lot of mainstream manga that we see out there, which is always something that a lot of indie manga is going to struggle with. So in this brief story that I got to read, we follow this one character who I'm guessing is like in elementary school. His name is Aichi, and he has difficulty remembering the 4 seasons in class, because apparently that's the lesson that they're learning in class, is to name each of the 4 seasons. 4 seasons are usually something that you learn in like preschool? I don't know if there's some sort of cultural shift here, but definitely not learning about the 4 seasons in elementary school. Because basically any kid who has surpassed being a toddler will have experienced each of the 4 seasons in real time and will have associated their names with it. But despite this is the crux of the first story. It is Aichi trying to remember the 4 seasons, trying to name them in class, and he has difficulty doing so. And because he has such trouble memorizing things, the entire class is falling behind, which of course leads into other kids bullying him for not being smart enough to memorize things. And this also gains the attention of the main character, or main supernatural force, which is Mr. Sasaki. And he's trying to explain to him that like the future actually does look bright for this kid, despite the fact that right now he feels very stupid and like he can't accomplish anything. But Aichi doesn't really quite understand what Sasaki is trying to explain to him, and overall doesn't take it to heart. So later on, while he's doing his homework, he's having a bit of a breakdown because no matter how much he studies, he doesn't seem to be able to remember anything. And this comes to probably one of the strangest parts in the manga that I've seen in any manga for a while now. This, what I suppose is an elementary school student, tries to hang himself. That's very edgy. That's very edgy, but I don't think that makes that much sense. Child does not know the 4 seasons, cannot name them, despite the fact this is a preschool lesson. But for some reason, he knows how to hang himself. He doesn't even use actual rope, he's jury-rigging a way to hang himself. Now look, if you were doing a story about a high schooler getting repeated F's in class and having difficulty memorizing things and being like, oh, I'm gonna be an adult soon and I'm not gonna be able to support myself because I suck at academics, etc., etc., I would understand the hanging themselves a lot more. It's the fact that they're so young and that the problem itself is so minuscule that makes this so preposterous to me. Like, where did this kid even learn how to hang himself?
I can't seem to get happy. Maybe this will help.
But as he kicks the chair away, luckily Mr. Sasaki comes to rescue him. And so in order to get Aichi to remember the names of the 4 seasons, he decides to take Aichi on a magical trip across the world where he shows him an example of what each of the 4 seasons looks like.
Please let this be a normal field trip with a friend? No way!
And then of course they ended it with spring in Japan with the cherry blossoms blooming. So when he attends class that next day, he's a lot more hopeful about his future and about what to expect for the future. And he lists out all of this information about each of the seasons in front of class for everybody to hear. Nobody likes a show-off, Aichi! And you know, it ends on kind of an interesting note, which is this idea that it's much easier to learn things from experience than it is from books, which is true. And also, you probably should have experienced the 4 seasons by now. How old are you, kid? Old enough to know how to hang himself. But that is overall where we end this preview of Mr. Sasaki's Soul. So what I'm taking from this is that it's meant to be this overall lighthearted, wholesome, episodic type of manga series that they're going for here. No problems with that, of course. I consider myself to be a fan of more episodic content, you know, Monster of the Week type stuff or Problem of the Week type stuff. And honestly, I could see potential for this being a family manga if it wasn't for that suicide scene. I mean, honestly, that is the one scene that would disqualify this being available to a younger generation as well. Judging just by this preview, I mean, there was no cursing, there was no intense blood or gore, and the story itself wasn't really that dark, which was all the more surprising when it's all of a sudden just turned into a kid trying to hang himself with a jump rope.
I think there's a dead body there! This is not a joke! This is not a joke, guys! Come on, let's get closer!
But I would like to see where this goes in the future, if it goes anywhere. And I would say that if you are looking for something in the soul healing kind of genre, if you're looking for casual reading, you know, episodic type stories, happy endings, I'm all for happy endings. In fact, it's something that I would advocate for more of, is to include more happy endings in stories and stop trying to always end on some edgy note all the time. But if this does seem like something that you want to read, that you would like to check out in its complete form, keep an eye out for this one, and feel free to follow Black Swan Story on social media to get updates on all the latest and greatest manga that they're releasing. Now, because search engines do not work anymore, they're all algorithm based, it will be difficult for you to actually find Black Swan Story on social media, so please do follow the links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. That will be much easier than trying to just search for them, I promise. Like I said, this will be releasing August in the summer, so you won't have to wait too long to read the full thing. So thank you to the folks who sent Mr. Sasaki's Soul to me. I wish you luck in your journey for creating some indie manga. I do love to see it. And thank you everyone for watching and supporting mangaka out there trying to make it work. Remember to comment down below and share your own thoughts. Or if there's other indie manga out there that you'd like me to review here on the channel, like the video of course if you did enjoy. And I will see you guys next time. Till then everybody, bye!